Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome. I'm not sure how many people are in here. I'm going to open up my channel really quick and just see, because for some reason, I don't know what's going on, but it's not telling me who's all here and all of that fun stuff. For some reason. So we'll see. When you get in, just say hey in chat. Let me know you're here. There's a couple things I wanted to talk about today. I'm not quite sure which topic I wanted to bring up first, because one of the topics is pretty friggin' hard to wrap your mind around. Hey, Conquering. Hey, Hoot. Hey, Classy Mom. How's it going? Hey, Cece. All right. So, hey, Patty. How are you? I know. So the reason I haven't really been live is because I was at my parents' house for like 8 days just before my ultrasound, because the doctor, as most of you know, the doctors put me on bed rest. So I needed like some time to like actually do my bed rest properly. So I brought my youngest with me to my parents, and my hubby kept our more active child. A lot of you know he has autism, so he doesn't quite understand that mommy needs to be taking it easy right now. He gets really upset. So, and I don't blame him, because it's nice out. He wants mommy to be able to go play and do things. Hey, Stina. Yeah, Cece changed her name, guys. So then you can at her easier. But I guess the first thing I'm going to bring up really quick and get it out of the way is I had my ultrasound on Thursday, and it was really good. I haven't heard back about the medical stuff going on with the pregnancy, but they were able to give me an estimate on the sex. And they told me it was a girl. At my ultrasound, I was 16 weeks. So they did tell me not to buy anything yet, just in case. Because, sometimes they get it wrong. Like in the earlier weeks, like sometimes they can get it wrong. So it's more like reliable when they tell you when you're like at least 20 weeks. I know who, but from what I could see when she was looking at her bits, to me, I didn't see a penis, and I have 3 boys. So usually you can tell when it's a boy. So I'm hoping they were right, because a lot of you know how much I've really, really wanted a girl. Like, oh, I have one daughter. She lives with my parents, but like me and Thomas don't have a daughter. So yes, who exactly. And she's doing great, they said. She's growing on time, she's looking good, her heartbeat's good, so that's making me feel a lot better. I know now Kayla just needs to have a boy, and then we can arrange marriage then. But there was something else I wanted to bring up. I think this clip I'm going to show you guys is, I'm pretty sure it's from a while ago. Like, I think it might have been in March, if I'm correct. I could be wrong. It could have been sooner than that, but I'm not 100% sure. I know, but I'm sure a lot of you have seen this clip already. It's from that time of the month. Sorry, son, your marriage was already chosen when you were in mommy's stomach, right? Sorry, you have no choice. Thank you, Cece. But yeah, so I'm going to show this clip really quick. Someone was very generous to get me the clip because I don't really have a lot of time to sit there and go through videos to find stuff. I know that makes me sound lazy, but like, shoot me, I'm lazy. It's all right, Dill. I start like all over the place. Like I'll put a timer on and be like, yeah, I'm gonna start in 20 minutes. Or I'll tell people I'm gonna start in 5, and then I'll randomly start it. Oh my god, who no, where's that one? Because I'll play that one too. A video on periods. What in the hell? If anyone I'm in Discord with has that clip, like, I want to see it. But yeah, I'm going to show this one really quick. It's like 40 seconds, but it kind of goes on more than that. And I'm going to play it and then let you know, like, my feelings on the topic. Because as a lot of you know, I have a very severely disabled child with autism. He's very, like, he's more in the middle in between high functioning and low functioning, but he still isn't going to have like the best quality of life. So so I'll show it. Where'd it go? God damn it. Do I have to do this all over again? Hold on. I had it all set up all nice. Can you guys see it? Patty, that was my like thought process. I know. I told him it sucks because, like, Kiki, did you see in Discord? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start in like 5 minutes. Yeah, here, I'll play it though. Hopefully everyone can hear it okay. If you can't, let me know. And I'm gonna start it. If it plays.
In my opinion, is a little bit extreme, and I'm not about to argue for it. I don't think this is necessarily what we should do, but I think there's a decent argument to be made, and it's my opinion that you should be able to abort up to about 3 years old. You should be able to end that child's life for multiple reasons. Obviously not because, oh, I just don't want to be a parent anymore. That would obviously be not the case. But in the case of like, oh, something has happened and this child is no longer going to have a viable life, you should be able to euthanize that child because I dropped it. Because this child is no longer medically viable. Again, my opinion is a little bit extreme, and I'm not about to argue for it. I don't think this is necessarily what we should do.
Okay, and then that's where it kind of cuts off, I guess. That's like the clip I have. If you guys want to see like a more detailed one, I think Unirock had it on his channel. I'm not sure who else had it in their channel, but, and yes, he did contribute with that definition. That definition like killed me. Like, I was drinking coffee and I choked on my coffee. Okay, but I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Like, what's your thoughts on it? Because I know my thoughts, and I tend to agree with Unirock when he was saying that Sweets and Manya both looked extremely uncomfortable. Yeah, and like it, like, that's the thing. You hear it and your brain just goes like, what? Like, any normal human being with a motherly instinct, with even a fatherly instinct, when a male hears that, like, it's just pretty awful. Exactly, Stina. Like, maybe there are, like, you know, I'm sure there are some people who can't handle raising a either developmentally disabled child or a disabled child. I'm sure there is people out there like that. Like, look at that other YouTuber, Micah, who just gave up her adopted son. Yes. I'm not sure of the timestamp, though. Pathalio? Sorry. I might have pronounced your name wrong. Yes, Cece. We can only hope because another thing she said was, you should get a license to be a parent. And she was very triggered about it. And in a way, I agree with that. I feel like some people just shouldn't be parents. Like, but also you can't really enforce something like that because anyone is entitled to become a parent. Yes, Kiki, I agree with that. I feel like in youth, I feel like these children who have the children that have children should definitely at least have parenting classes or something of that kind. Kayla says, my fiance is listening. Sophia is autistic. He knew nothing about autism until she was diagnosed. We educated ourselves used our resources, and we tend to her needs. I can never do that to my son. He has a lot of mental health issues, and he can be difficult, but I love him and can never get rid of him. Kayla and Conquering, honestly, I 100% agree with you. Like, when we had Wesley, he was like the thank you. If you guys want to go over to Cheshire's channel, and that is the timestamp where it starts. I have it below my little icon, my face. And if you want to listen to it, because it goes on, and you hear Manya kind of try to, like, I don't know if she's trying to find something to make that argument not so disgusting, but she says something about, well, and I'm probably quoting this wrong, but it's something along the lines of, oh, because pregnancy is so difficult on a woman's body, and trying to stop what happened to your child from happening to other children makes us anti-terrorists. And like, yeah, hell yeah, pregnancy is difficult. It's no walk in the park, and neither is raising a child with disabilities. Like, it's no walk in the park. But it still doesn't make it okay to, like, why 3? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, what made her think in her 62 IQ brain to say up to 3? Like, when does that stop if the person isn't viable? Why 3? Yeah, Kiki, that's what I mean. And yeah, Manya did try. And like, I haven't watched the full thing. I need to, but Sweets is a mother, right? And you could tell she was uncomfortable. No, yeah, Cece, I really don't think she thinks for herself. I think she regurgitates a lot of what she hears and then tries to put her own spin on it to make it sound like it's okay. Hey, BJ! I adopted a heroin addicted baby, went through hell with her, would do it all over again. She's 39, gave me 3 beautiful grandchildren. I can't imagine some thinking like that at all. Yeah, exactly. I don't understand it. Yes, thank you, Stina. If a person wasn't viable, they would die on their own. No, I don't think she understands a lot of things, Cheshire. I think she likes to talk like she's very smart, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Kiki, I kind of believe they wouldn't push back though, because like from what I've seen Uni Rock talking about, there really is like a hierarchy amongst those women. Like there's Nicole, Chesh, Sweet, and Manya. And in order, it goes from the top dog, whatever you want to call it, in their little clique. It goes Cheshire, Sweets, Manya, and then Nicole. And I really feel like I haven't seen a lot of Nicole saying anything outlandish or outrageous. Yeah, Kiki, agree. No, nobody seems to. And anyone who does push back against her and say things, you get kicked out or they kind of like turn on you and you end up having to leave. Yes. Oh, see, that's beautiful. I think they're scared. I think even though their little clique is like so screwed up, I think like they wouldn't know what to do if they weren't in that type of existence. Like it's like their whole lives are that are being in Steve's little like girl clique. I think so too, Conquering. Oh, you guys might hear little notifications pop up. I don't know how to turn them off. I'm losing my mind. Bad mood. Time of the month. I want to go to the store. Oh, you guys have mandate. Is there any type of loopholes when it comes to the mask, like being mandatory? I know here some stores have made it mandatory, and if you like have asthma or anything, my cat, sorry, my cat just jumped up on the computer. Like I know if you have like asthma or anything like that, you don't really have to. No, I really can't see Cheshire having children. I hope to God she doesn't, because that's just awful what she said. Like, just awful. There's no other word for it besides awful. And I can't get my mind past it. You can tell, yes, you can tell them you have a medical condition. It prevents you from safely wearing a mask. There you go, PJ. I want to get a really cool mask. But like I have a hard time wearing them because I have anxiety. Get a mask from the movie Scream. Yes. But like I don't know, like I'm in the same boat as Kayla. Like Kayla's little one's a little older than Wesley, but when our son was born, he was premature, but he was still healthy, and we didn't get him diagnosed until he was 3. And then, but we did start seeing signs around the age of 18 months. He started to regress, and some days you can like some days with me and my husband, like it's just so difficult, and it's like how can we go on like this? Like there are days like that, and there's nothing wrong with having days like that, but one thing I can't imagine ever is thinking, oh well, this is such an inconvenience and this is so difficult, so I'm just gonna let someone else deal with it, or I'm just gonna like end his life. Like what? Like that's what I don't get. Like it's my brain literally like wants to like shut off when I start to wrap my head around that. We saw signs around 1.5, but we didn't know. Yeah, same, Kayla. Like Wesley was like 3 and a bit. Down, Patty. Am I missing comments? I feel like I'm missing comments. I'm like, I feel like I'm missing comments. That's the best part, Britters. You can get out of yourself and into a character. Honestly, if I had to get any type of mask, I would want like the Joker mask from Batman. Leslie says, when I watched that, I thought of my nephew and it pissed me off. Honestly, I don't blame you, Leslie. Like, I don't. Like, my brain didn't go to him because I didn't know him that much. Like, my brain went like to my son. Like, it went to him and like, what? And like all the other countless parents who, like, there's parents who are told when they're pregnant, look, your child is not going to live like a month. And a lot of these parents don't care. Like, a lot of these parents will still have them because they can't imagine ending that child's life. Even if it's going to have like an hour, at least you had that hour with your child. That's what I don't understand. And there's so many wrong diagnoses as well that you can get into. Like, they could tell you, oh, your child's not going to live past 3. And then your child lives to be like 17, 18 years old. Like, it's science. Like, I'm not trying to throw religion in here or anything, but like, you don't know what card you're given. Like, none of us can tell the future for our children. So none of us know. Like, they tell us that with me, they say that our son probably won't be able to live on his own and won't be able to function by himself. But then I speak to other parents who have children with autism, and some parents I talk to, their children, as they get older, they get better and they get smarter, and it just gets easier. So, like, you don't really know. Sorry, I'm just going back down the comments. No mom would even want to kill their child if chest was exactly. That's what I mean. Like, that's why I hate Bill Gates and his dad ran Planned Parenthood. So evil. Word, Dilly. Yeah, Leslie, that's why I was kind of like, when I was watching it, because Sweets as a mother, like Manya and, well, I don't know about Manya, but like Cheshire and maybe Manya, they're not mothers. So it's like, why are we listening to these women who are not parents talk about what pregnant women and mothers should be doing with their disabled children? Like, and I'm getting triggered here. I'm not going to start doing the bop, 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 like Chesh, but like, damn, Sweet did look uncomfortable. Like, I get she was smiling, but a lot of the times with me, she could be one of those people. With me, when I get really uncomfortable, I like laugh sometimes, like at really inappropriate times if I'm uncomfortable. She needs to take responsibility for what's exactly, Kiki. Thank you. Like, there's sorry. There's people out there that are gonna watch that. And like, there's sick ass people out there, they're gonna watch that and go, oh, she has a point. Yeah, same, classy mom. Even my kids that I lost during pregnancy, like, it didn't matter if I lost them at 6 weeks or I lost them at 13 weeks. It didn't matter. I loved all of them the same. Just that's like my aunt with Down syndrome. They told my grandmother that she should put her in a home because she wouldn't have much of a life. But yeah, she lived till she was 35. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, you honestly do not know. Or she's going to hurt a mother who lost their child. Yeah. My son was diagnosed with early onset bipolar disorder. Oh, I'm sorry, Conquering. It definitely needs a trigger warning because it starts at like an hour and 27. So it's like, I want to know what the heck the people in chat were saying or thinking. Like, were they agreeing with this? Like, I kind of almost want to go over there right now and like stream it and see, because like, I am hella curious now. Like, it's up to you guys. If you guys want me to, I will, but oh, I'm sorry, Classy. I can't imagine losing. Like, did you lose them pregnancy or was it postpartum, like after they were born? Did you lose them? Yeah, because now I'm hella curious. I'm sorry, Classy. I I wish I'd done that. I didn't do that. I couldn't. I don't know why, but like every woman's different, right? But like definitely not different to the point where you're like, yeah, let's fucking abort a freaking 3-year-old. How is that even an abortion at that point? Like, how? I don't get the terminology she even used. I've stayed neutral and haven't criticized much, but this Kiki, hell yeah. I feel like it would piss off any mother. Mother or not, any like normal woman would be like outraged. Bobby was my hardest child because of his autism. There were days I thought I would go crazy, but every night when I laid my head down, I thank God for him and I asked God to give me wisdom. Leslie, honestly, the days where like I'm ready to like pull my hair out sometimes because Wesley will not stop screaming. Literally, I sleep with him every night. And when he's laying beside me, I'm just like, I am the luckiest woman in the world to have such an amazing son. I went to a retreat for women in miscarriage. It was the most emotional journey. I met my children and held them spiritually and was able to give them an identity and say goodbye. See, I feel like that's why I have such a hard time talking about my miscarriages, Classy, because it's like I don't think I ever dealt with it. I feel like calling Ches a sociopath is like maybe she is, but like I feel like that's too well of it. Like I feel like that like puts down sociopaths. Like I feel like we need like a whole new definition. Yeah, like they don't like I feel like oh I'm like at a loss for words, but I feel like Sweets and Mania wanted to say something. Like I feel like they desperately wanted to say something. Like you could tell in their eyes and like the things they would say wouldn't make sense, or like Mania would try to change the subject quite a bit. Yeah, Cena. Like you don't have to be a mom to hear something like that and think, what the fuck? Like I'm sure I could show that clip to my 16-year-old cousin and she would say, what the fuck? I agree, Leslie. I feel like I'm gonna think about it definitely because I never did, and like whenever I would try to talk to my husband about it, he just didn't want to talk about it either because it was difficult. Like even with this pregnancy, when I started having complications, and sorry, Dale, if you're still in the chat because it's about to get PG-13 plus. Um, like even during this pregnancy, when I started having issues and bleeding, my husband like completely shut down. Like he was like, I was trying to stay positive and be like looking through baby names and all of that kind of stuff, and he just wouldn't. Like he was kind of no, like it was happening all over again to him, so he didn't really want to deal with it. But now that things are starting to get a little bit better, a little bit more positive, I'm going to be 17 weeks tomorrow, and hopefully they were right and it is a girl because he's over the moon. Like he's wanted his own little girl like forever. I wonder if I don't think I've ever seen Steve in those. Oh, I'm sorry, PJ. I love you. If you want to come in and chit chat, I'm gonna go to the timestamp that Blue gave us, and we can watch it and pause it and see what's up. Hopefully, they don't strike it. Oh yeah, that was another thing they said, Leslie. They said like, oh, postpartum depression could be another reason. I had postpartum depression with all of my children. Does that mean I should abort all of them when they turn 3 because I have postpartum depression? Like, what? Like, that's what I mean. Like, it was like I didn't know what the hell they were trying to say. Yeah, Patty. My husband kind of just like shut down, Patty. Like, he was just like, no, like, even when we found out I was expecting, he wasn't like excited. And it wasn't like to be mean. It was just like, I think he was scared, like, to connect and then suffer that loss again. Just equals a shitty person, in my opinion. Word. Thank you, Kayla. Hey, Miss Leah. How are you? She was basing her opinion as a single woman and how those choices may be a burden or on healthcare mental. You don't have to be but you don't have to be a mother to look at this from a compassionate view. Exactly. Kayla, she would have a baby and like her baby would be like colic or something, and she'd be like, "This is too much of a burden. It needs to go." Like, what? The judge would look at her and go, what? As a believer, I know my babies are not gone. Different kind of connection, acceptance, but we keep their memory alive and honored for a short time. We knew them. Agreed. It's okay, PJ. I just threw it out there in case before I started it, in case anyone wanted to comment on this with me, because I thought it was hilarious. Like, it's just like, what? I don't even know the name of this woman's channel. Let's see. Oh, there it is. And it was called Dang, she's got a lot of videos on here. Okay. Oh, that's good, Kayla. Okay, let's see if I can do this proper. That time of the month. Okay. It was more than a month ago, right? Who's to blame? Found it.
Was like in the
Okay, an hour and 27 minutes? Hold on, let me see.
first like early stages of pregnancy, and she's like, I don't want it. You can't stop her. That's why they put in these delay tactics. You know, they who have late term abortion. It's so radical and it's so disgusting. I honestly like if you want my opinion is a little.
Okay, there we go. I found it. Yeah, be careful, Kayla. Please keep my daughter's future husband safe. One sec, guys. Sorry, my hubby's messaging me. All right, guys. So how do you guys want me to do this? Should I play it and then should I play like a lot of it and then talk, or should I play it and then like let you all get your opinions in there? I used to speak on viability in a lot of profile forums, and I would always say I have a teenager who by definition is not viable. Viable means to be able to survive on its own. So is Manya saying late-term abortions are radical and disgusting? And then Chesh is like, you want to hear radical and disgusting? Here's what I think. Yeah, Kayla, I think you're making the right choice. She's going to be sad and upset, but I also feel like she's going to have fun with Grammy. Like every time I want to go somewhere without Wesley, he throws the biggest fit as I'm leaving. And then as soon as I get home, he's like, what are you doing home so early? Okay, guys, I'm going to start this dumpster fire. Yeah, Leslie, I don't feel like women who have to have late-term abortions for medical reasons get treated poorly. I think a lot of women who have to have late-term abortions for medical reasons get a lot of sympathy because that is like one of the hardest decisions you would have to make. Like having a doctor tell you, if you have this baby, you could die, or if you have this baby, this, that, and the third, and then having to make that decision, like, what do I do? People that are pro-life are against people using abortions as a form of birth control. See, that's what I don't agree with. And I might get heat for it, but I think if you want to have an abortion, you know, it's your body, your choice. But also there is a point in where women will start using it as a form of birth control. And that's where I'm like, okay, that's not okay. You know, there's the IUD. There's so many forms of birth control where you don't need to keep getting knocked up and then getting rid of the child. Agreed, Kayla. Yeah, I disagree with that too, Les. Okay, here, I'm gonna start this really quick. I'll play it for a teeny bit. Oh my gosh, some of these comments already. What I hate is women who have sex getting pregnant and then calling the resulting conception a mistake because they don't always work. There are ways to not get pregnant. Okay. Plan B over the counter. Okay. See, this guy's a dick bag. I'm totally in favor of 2,000 trimester abortions. You're an idiot, bro. Like, what kind of comment is that? Okay, I'm pressing play.
Extreme, and I'm not about to argue for it. I don't think this is necessarily what we should do, but I think there's a decent argument to be made, and it's my opinion that you should be able to abort up to about 3 years old. You should be able to end that child's life for multiple reasons. Obviously not because, oh, I just don't want to be a parent anymore. That would obviously be not the case. But in the case of like, oh, something has happened and this child is no longer going to have a viable life, you should be able to euthanize that child because I dropped it. And this child is no longer medically viable for.
Oh, that's so funny, Cheshire. I dropped it. Oh, you're hilarious. Sorry, continue.
Of some kind of reasonable reason.
Miscarriages happen, right? That's because the child, the fetus or the child.
This kid is super boring. Time to end it. Well, we messed up. Look away, honey.
We are too serious.
Yeah, someone saying so we just start winning some motherfucker off this island. So yeah, and again, people don't realize how hard a pregnancy is on a woman's body. The amount of minerals, the amount of vitamins that get leached off, you know.
Leached off? See, this is where I'm kind of like, okay, like, I realize Vanya may be smart, but you can tell she's never been pregnant because when you're pregnant, that's why there's prenatal vitamins you take because the baby does take a lot of vitamins and minerals from you. So you take prenatal vitamins. You're supposed to increase your calorie intake by like, I think it's like 300 calories or something. I can't quite remember. But like, oh, this baby's leeching off me. Like, what? Like, I'm sorry you created a child and now that child needs to do what it needs to do in your uterus to survive. Like, these women are just like, ugh. Okay, let's continue. I don't know if you guys can see the comments even. Let me know if you can. I'll read a couple if I see any good ones.
On the psychologically, mentally, how it takes a toll. It's a financial burden too, for single moms and, women who are certain, poverty line and everything. So
yeah, there's a lot to be taken in consideration. But this is why you would need to have contingencies in place. This isn't like I have postpartum depression, now I'm going to abort. No. You would need to put in proper health care and proper mental health care as well, and that would include probably licensing for parenthood would be a good fucking idea, assholes.
Yeah. Just because you're pregnant doesn't make you competent.
You know what's the best way to do it? You know what's the best way to do it? Because you can't really stop people from having babies. You can totally stop people from having babies. And the answer is sterilizing men in an opt-out system at the age of 12. And the way you do that,
Can we sterilize Cheshire? Can we start a GoFundMe to sterilize Cheshire, please, for the love of God? Like, I'll pitch in $100 for that. Like, goddamn. Hey, Amber Hills. I think a lot of men manipulate women into getting abortions when pregnancies are unplanned. Yeah, I agree with that, Stina. I feel like some women are pressured into it. Leslie. But, like, also another thing she said right there is she said, see, I was getting so flustered, but something along the lines of there should be mental health things in process and everything else in place before you have a child. Yeah, it's called an early child care educator who you're more than well in Canada. I don't know about the States, but oh, sorry, I got the worst heartburn. When you have a child in Canada, as soon as you have the baby, they bring a social worker comes to your room. They talk to you about how you're feeling and everything specific to your situation. Like with my situation with my first two, their dad wasn't there. Their dad wasn't with me or nothing. So it was a lot harder. But when I had my other two with my husband, it was so much easier. But I still had the social worker come to my house once a week just to see how I was doing. Because like when you have a baby, it's nice to have that adult conversation with. Let's continue.
Do that is with a chemical shot that they can get that does not impede their testosterone levels in any way, shape, or form and does not affect them. All it does is mean that their sperm are blanks. They're shooting blanks, which means the reason you're wearing a condom is for STDs, not to actually prevent pregnancy, because the pregnancy is already prevented, and it's not forced because it's an opt-out procedure. It is opt-out, which means you can opt out of it for reasons. It's just the automatic thing you do. And
yeah, Cheshire, it's called a vasectomy. Like, let's read some of these comments. See, this person's like, in the case of flat earthers, I'm for 40-year-old abortions. I feel like flat earthers in this conversation that these chicks are having, I feel like the flat earthers make more sense than what the hell's coming out of Cheshire's mouth. And like flat earthers are nuts, but like this is like a whole nother level. Hey, Joe. Oh, shit. Sorry. Pardon my language. I pressed play on the wrong screen.
This thing is reversible. Now, to be fair, it's still in testing. It still needs to be covered to make sure it's not approved yet. Once it does, though, if you put something like that in place, then you make a licensing system, which means that you need to make sure that you have your financial records checked to make sure you can afford having a child. You then get checked to make, you can do probably genetic checks, but those would probably be opt-in ones that you would pay for if you want to get your genetics checked to make sure that you're not carrying any kind of additional diseases. And then if you don't, you would go through this at least the same process at minimum that you would have to go through to adopt. At minimum.
Yeah, that's what always got me was looking at the process of what it takes. Child, it's ridiculous. It's expensive. You go through all sorts of training. I shouldn't say it's ridiculous, but it's ridiculous. I can go through all this to adopt. I can still get knocked up at the bar down the street, and it's.
Right, yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
nobody asks me questions. It's ridiculous. I don't know, but I don't know. Tresha's position from a logical standpoint makes perfect sense, but most people from an emotional standpoint will not have it.
No, absolutely not. That's why.
How does that make sense even in a logical sense? Sweets? What the hell? Like, whose logic? Cheshire's logic? Because I wouldn't call that logic. I would call that dribble pouring out of her mouth like diarrhea. We have options for men and women. Men can have vasectomy and women can take birth control until they're old enough to have their tubes tied or old enough to abstain from having sex. Yes, agreed. Hey, Joe.
Hey, hon.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Are you enjoying the dumpster fire?
I have no words where she is concerned. She literally said at one point something, not word for word, but something like, "Oh well, you know, at the age of 12, you can just make them not have children." Okay, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. Right? And it's like, why 12? Like, why not just have, like, I understand some people can't always watch their children 24/7, and I'm not trying to be judgmental here, but like, not everyone has children under the age of 18. A lot do, yes, and a lot do really well.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't understand how this is logical, what they're talking about.
I think the main one for me is Sweet. Sweet has a child. Would she be okay if, say, her daughter, God friggin' forbid, at the age of, say, 2.5, had an accident and became mentally disabled? Not like so much that she had to be taken off a ventilator, but could live, but was very, very handicapped. Would she say, no, sorry, that's not quote unquote normal child, I'm going to put you down now?
According to what she just said, it's very logical. Like,
I don't know.
My brain is just exploded into itself. Like,
it's crazy.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna play another like minute of it and then come back.
I'm not going to sit here and push that other people should agree with me. This is not like, This is more like from a logistics point, this is absolutely the way we should do it. Are you going to convince people to do it? Absolutely not. People are scared of everything all the time.
Not anytime soon.
Always.
We're not ever putting a revolution yet.
And it's, there was something else, someone brought it up, like, in some states, in America, I think, so you have, if a woman wants to go for sterilization, and if she's married, she has to have her husband's permission. Is that true?
Oh. Somebody said Jess shouldn't have kids. Why not?
Why not? What? Is that true what Manya just said too for my chatters in the States? Do you need your husband's permission if you're married to get sterilized? Like to get a tubal ligation? Because I thought in the States you don't need that. Like in Canada, if me and Tom were to get legally married and I was like, hey, I'm done having kids, can you please tie my tubes during my C-section? Tom wouldn't have a say.
Neither in the UK either.
Yeah. Leggy just said no, that's not true. No, yeah, see, that's what I thought. No, yes, thank you. There's another dumb thing that came out of their mouths. Like maybe that is an old rule and no longer the case. Yeah, and maybe it's like that in the country Manya's from.
It could be, actually.
Like maybe she's getting confused. They used to back when my mom had me, but not anymore. Yeah, because women's rights have like progressed since then. Like you don't even need the husband's permission to have an abortion or the father's permission.
No. My mum had a full hysterectomy without my dad's consent.
Yeah. Like I don't think that's ever been a rule in Canada, but it could be where Manya's from. Because I know in a lot of,
where is she from?
I'm not even sure where she's from. I'm not 100% sure. I always thought she did live in the States, but I could be wrong. And I'm sure if I'm wrong, it'll be all over Twitter. But again, I'm not sure.
No, I'm not either. Does anybody in the chat know where Mania is from?
Tea time! Here, I'll play a little bit more. I hope this doesn't go on much longer, because God.
What do you mean?
Sounds more responsible than most people who do.
Yes,
And actually, yeah.
Ironically. I'm sorry, Manya, what did you say? No.
I was just like people, like when women go like sterilization, they want to opt for sterilization and they refuse, saying, "Oh, you would want to have kids in future." Listen, if I really want to have a kid in future, really want to have a kid in future, I'll go through all the hassle of adoption. If I really want that,
be their choice.
And actually prove myself that I'm going to be a competent parent to that adoption.
Yeah, there needs to be. Think about how much testing you need to do to get your license.
Okay, so because I didn't adopt, that doesn't make me a competent parent. Like, nothing, like, I'm not knocking on adoption. Like, I feel like adoption's a wonderful, beautiful thing. But in the same breath, like, adoption, they don't have manuals for adoptions either. They don't sit there and tell you how to be
I can speak for adoption firsthand, and trust me, Michelle's parents made many, many mistakes. Like when she was first given to them, her mum gave her to her dad and said, "Watch her." She was on the bed. She must have been like 4 weeks old, and said, "Watch her. I'm just gonna have a shower." She literally fell off the bed and banged her head. They had to put a hat on it to go to sign the adoption papers, because they thought, "Oh my God, we're going to lose this baby."
Yeah. Oh, they probably wouldn't have either, because stuff like that happens.
No.
But that's.
Oh my God, yeah, kids fall all the time.
I had to sign off 72 hours prior to my C-section to get my tide. Said I couldn't be medicated and I can only consent. Oh, okay. It took me 2 years to adopt. I've made mistakes, not big ones, but still made them. Yeah, that's what I mean.
All
like
parents make mistakes.
Yeah.
Adopted, biological, fostering, it doesn't matter. Nobody is perfect, guys. And all we can do is ever try our best. And when you come out of hospital, you don't come out of hospital with a manual. This is how you parent. Everyone parents differently. Nobody's is right and nobody's is wrong. It's whatever works for you.
And honestly, it doesn't even matter how many, like in my case, it doesn't matter how many children you have either. You still make mistakes. Like, I went over to my friend's house the other day to see her baby for the first time. And her baby's about 3 weeks old, and she's premature. She's very small. She's like she finally hit 6 pounds. So she's a tiny little girl. And she was like, "Here, you want to hold her?" And like, my brain was like, "Oh my God, like, how do I hold them again? Like, what do I do?" Like, it's almost like you kind of forget when they're smaller and your body has to teach itself all over again. Okay, let's see what else they say.
Like if you wanted to drive a car, you need to do a written test, then you either take testing and or go to a class, and then you have to wait 8 months, and then you can do your next set of driving, and you still have restrictions on what you can and cannot do. So, like, if we're talking about you're now responsible for taking care of another human life, and you're responsible for what they do with their future and what's going on, and that's the future of what's going to be later on for our species, you're talking about a psychological test, a financial evaluation, a course, at least, that is probably once a week for 3 months. Probably.
Yeah.
Then at the end of that, a test, and then a psych evaluation at the end. And that course needs to be in early childhood development and education. And I don't think it would be a bad idea to provide education for parents throughout the child's life.
They already have that, though. I don't know about the UK and the States, but like, okay, not like a written evaluation test, but like they have early childhood involvement the first 5 years of your child's life, if you choose to, in Canada.
In the UK, they will come to the house for the first like 6 months of the baby's born, like once weekly, then it goes to once every 2 weeks, and they'll just take notes and like make sure the baby's reaching milestones.
Yeah.
We call it a midwife here.
Yeah. Exactly, Stina. You're having children, not programming robots. Exactly.
And all children are different. Even Britta's 2 boys, they're very, very different boys. You can do one with one, which will work, and you can do exactly. He could be, say, Wes could be doing something, Brit could handle it one way, and that will work for Wes. She could do exactly the same thing with Corbin, and it won't work. Not all kids handle things the same. Some kids don't.
Yeah, exactly. Laggy. Some serial killers were very good parents. Just saying. Actually, that's true. Whoever the happy face killer,
yeah, it is.
They were interviewing his daughter, and they said like he was the most amazing father.
Yeah, and that lorry driver one, the one that used to put the bodies in the freezer in the back of his truck.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, that might have been the happy one. Was that the happy one?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was the happy face killer. He was a truck driver, I think.
Yeah, and he, like they said, like he was the best parent, he was the best uncle, and everyone, like all the kids loved him. And
who was the other guy that was like a clown and like killed men or whatever, or boys? John something. John Wayne Gacy. I think people said he was a really good parent too. And Pathalio Blue said Cheshire would make a great commander's wife in A Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah,
she would.
I really like for her thoughts, and I don't care what crap I get. I hope she never ever reproduces.
I really hope
to
she
have
doesn't.
thoughts like that is beyond despicable and beyond okay. Like you think you should put a 3-year-old down if quote unquote it's not normal. What's not normal by your standards, Chash? Is Down syndrome not normal by your standards? Is somebody with autistic not normal by your standards? What? Because they are normal by my standards.
Agreed. Oh, 1 sec. I'm gonna play it and mute myself for 2 seconds. I got a phone call.
Okay. Because Chash thinks her dog's isn't allergic to chocolate. Oh my goodness. I just think Chash hasn't got the brain capacity to think anything logically, to be honest. I think she thinks she's smart, and in reality, like, she's not. And don't get me wrong, I don't admit to being smart. I'm a fucking boomer. I'm thick as 2 short planks. But saying that, like, I don't pretend to be. You cannot sit there and try and have a conversation like that, and especially Sweet, who has a daughter. Like, you have a daughter. Like, that's just crazy to me. Bye, Miss Leah. Have a great day. Cheshire is way too selfish to be a mother. I agree. She probably got very radical ideas about depopulation in the planet. That is probably where this stems from. To be fair, like wherever this kind of thought pattern goes seems absolutely crazy. I changed my names. Oh yeah, so you did. I literally didn't just noticed. Oh, that's cute. I like that. I like that.
I like it too.
Yeah, I like it better. Way better.
Yeah, that was
I'm
just because
glad it's got the cute in. I need the cute bit.
I know. I think she was just gonna put Cece, but the cute needs to be in there. I totally agree. Bye, Leah. I don't know if I'm going to be able to play much more of it because that was my son's respite worker. She hurt her ribs, so she's not going to be able to work. So I'll try and stay live for a little bit longer. But as soon as they come home, I got to end it. But
That's fine.
Yeah. What the hell was I going to say? I missed that bit. What they were saying. Did you catch any of it, Joe?
No, you didn't put play.
Oh shoot. Okay, that was my bad. Oh well. But like with this thing, like I don't even think I need to listen anymore because it's just like
no.
I feel like that kind of says it all. Like it's like what? Like
Kiki just made a good point, Joe. I bet what we heard video just scratches the surface. I agree, Kiki, because if someone say their things on a stream, what are they thinking in private?
Exactly. Like, oh, I'm sure Bill Gates is her hero.
Yeah.
Cheshire is 29, almost 30, I believe. I could be wrong, but I know that's about around this age of her. And maybe she's just not meant to have children. Like with thoughts like that, I feel like no, like, but who am I to say that though, right? Like she could, be talking like this and turn out to be an amazing mother. Like you don't know, because I remember
if she does, I hope so, because like those views are just so like off the damn wall.
Oh yeah. Like
I just don't know what her what's the word, like what's her clarification of quote unquote normal,
right?
That's what kind of confuses me. Is like I think Wilson, my friend's little boy, he's perfectly normal. He's happy, he's healthy, he's absolutely friggin' hilarious, cute as a button, and he's got Down syndrome. Does she class that as not normal? Would she put him down?
She probably would if she could. The way she's talking.
But to me, he's normal. He's just a little boy. He's healthy. He's happy. Like you've seen pictures of him. He's absolutely freaking gorgeous.
Oh, 100%. Like that's like Wesley. Like he's used to going with his worker Saturday, Sundays to spend the day with her. But I'm sure today when he gets home, the minute he walks in the door, he's going to be screaming, crying, and I'll have to deal with that for an hour to 2 hours. But honestly, I can't imagine not having to deal with it. Like it's him.
Yeah, and he's super freaking smart. Wes is so smart. Like he knows, and he's also knows when he does wrong. Okay, yes, we know he has autism. We know this, but he knows when he did that to the wall the other day when he threw something at the wall. I didn't mean to. He knew straight away that he was going to get told off. I didn't mean to.
I'm sorry.
I shouldn't laugh, but it was funny.
Yeah, they did experiment on disabled people, Stina. Nazis.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
We all think we know about parenting before we have children.
Amen.
Yeah.
And I say that all the time, even to Britas. Like if Britas asks me something, I go, I don't know. I'm no parent, but and then I'll just say what I would do. And then sometimes Britas is like, nah, that won't work, Joe. And I'm like, okay. And then other times she goes, oh, actually, that might work.
But like sometimes it's nice to like I have a lot of parents who don't have a lot of parents. I have a lot of friends who don't have children, and I'll ask them for their advice when it comes to certain things with my kids because sometimes it is nice to hear that different perspective. But if one of my friends said, "Oh, you should just abort them," like what?
Yeah. And like Wes is so friggin' smart. He's so funny. He's so like loving and caring. Does he have his strops? Of course. All kids have tantrums. All kids
Yeah.
have strops. All kids think it's the end of the world because they can't have a chip. You know,
Yep.
it's normal. It doesn't make him any worse or more than another kid without autism. That's
Mm-hmm.
just his sensory is just a little bit higher, so he takes it a little bit more to heart than
Mm-hmm.
a child without. That's all.
Yeah,
But
his
you're really good with him as well, so that makes it so much easier for him because you know how
yeah.
to deal with him.
And like Kayla said, like it's definitely not a walk in the park. Like when
No,
when you get that diagnosis, you kind of almost grieve like a
yeah, cool.
loss at first because it's like you have all these ideologies and dreams for what your children are going to do when they're in your belly, and when something happens like that, yeah, it's upsetting, and yeah, some women can't handle it, but yes, whoever you are, trolls, haters, and naysayers, having kids isn't always rainbows and sunshine.
It's definitely,
Where
but I thought that about pregnancy as well. Like, I know everyone wants this perfect pregnancy, but 9 times or 8 times out of 10, it's not the perfect pregnancy. There are people out there. My mum could do, like, literally, she could carry a baby, have no heartburn, no sickness, nothing. She was always had the perfect pregnancy with all us kids. But there's others, like my friend, who was in that hospital because she couldn't even keep water down.
yeah,
You know, and we're all different how we would parent. Like we would all parent differently. It doesn't make anybody else's parenting skills shit or anyone else a bad mother. It's just they parent differently to you.
yeah, exactly. Thanks for coming, trolls. I always love to have new people in the chat.
Hi trolls, how are you, babe?
That's true. You go through stages of grief. We were sad, angry, confused, and then accepted and adapted. That's what you have to
Exactly.
do. And
Exactly, Kayla. And
and
that's called being a good mommy.
yeah, like I feel like anyone, like even when they tell you, you know, because they do testing now where they can tell you if your child's going to have a disability that isn't always favorable,
Yeah.
but that's what humans are very good at adapting. That is what we how we were created.
Yeah.
Like when the freaking power goes out, I'm like, what the hell? But like 1,000 years ago, they all managed to live, like,
Yeah.
and they all managed to raise kids and everything else. Like, it's just like the whole
But
topic
like,
to me
not
is
even like 1,000 years ago. You think when I was a kid, we didn't have mobile phones, we didn't have computers. We had on a Sunday, we had this stupid like Nintendo thing that I'm not even joking, took 2 hours to load. That's all we had. We had books, we had board games. We didn't have all this technology, Wi-Fi. We had 4 channels.
yeah,
Like we had BBC, BBC Two, ITV, and Channel 4. That was it.
yeah. I'm pretty sure we only had like 6 channels when I was a kid.
We didn't have all this Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi wasn't even like it was non-existent. I didn't have a pager until I was 21, and then I had a phone at about 23, I think.
Oh my god! I remember when I got my first pager. I thought I was the coolest thing ever.
Patty says I'm grateful for indoor plumbing. Grandma's still got an outside toilet, Patty. Patty is amazing. I love the outside toilet. It means I can smoke while I'm sat on having a wee.
My grandpa has both. My grandpa has indoor plumbing, and then he also has an outside toilet if the power goes
Yeah,
out.
that's like grandma. Grandma's going upstairs, but like I think you saw grandma's house. I think I showed you, and the stairs are like super steep. So I just tend to, when I'm there, go and use the outside toilet. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly clean and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like hell walking up those stairs.
And like another thing that kind of pissed me off with what they said was about, oh, you should have a certain amount of money to raise a child. When I was growing up, like we scraped by. Like, and I
Same.
mean, like my mom was the main breadwinner, and when she passed away and I went to live with my dad, it was like night and day because my dad didn't make that much money. We had the bare minimum, and we couldn't
Yeah.
get extra cool things until I was in my late teens. But he still raised an amazing children.
Yeah. And I think like we've done this and we've been through this, like Carl and I, when we first started trying, we did the whole, oh, we'll wait a few years until we're better off. And you're never in the situation that you think, yes, this is the perfect timing to have kids.
Yeah.
It never happens. When Carl and I was both working, we were bringing in in American money, like $6,000 just on a basic wage. And then we were bringing an extra 2 on bonuses. We were well off, but
Yeah.
like you live by your means. So if you have zero money, you live by that. If you have thousands and thousands, you live by that. You live by your means. You never feel like you've got enough to bring a child into the world.
Yeah. Like that's one of my husband's my husband's mother-in-law, mother, like she has concerns right now because of COVID. You know, Tom's laid off right now. He's just getting the CERB. I'm not working right now. And like, yes, she's concerned because, you know, we're bringing in another child during a not ideal time, but it's like, we'll manage. Like,
And shit happens. Like, and you manage. An extra mouth surprisingly doesn't cost that much more than what it does now to cook tea. The nappies and the wet wipes and that, yes, it costs a little bit extra at the beginning, but that period goes very quickly when it's like they're changing every 2 minutes, like, you know.
Yeah. Trolls said, I can't help but think what was going on in Sweet's head, to sit there and nod her head and just laugh at what Chesh said. She's a parent. How can she be okay with that? See, I was giving her the benefit of the doubt at first, and I said, look, maybe it's nervous laughter. But then when she said, this is logical. No, it's not logical. It's fucking insane.
After 2.5 years, in 2 years, I knew, like, you know what my dog's like, and I'm sure most of you in the chat do. My dog is nuts, like, and I don't mean just a little bit. I can't even go and pet him. He's not nice. He's broken. But after 2.5 years, I could not put even my dog down. I love my dog. Is he a pain in the ass? Yes. Have I got to be super cautious with him because he will bite? Of course. But he's my pain in the ass.
Yep. This is Cheshire.
2.5 years. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine even putting Can you imagine putting Rascal down now?
Oh God, no, no. And my parents actually brought that up because Rascal is a very hyper breed of dog. He's husky.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, he jumps on the kids. He doesn't know his own strength. So they're concerned with having a little baby in the house with him. And they're like, maybe you should give him up. No. Like, no, I'm not giving my dog up.
As well, though, to be fair to Rascal, yeah, he's jumper, he's hyper energetic, but he also does listen.
Oh, he's so good. When he wants to be good, he's good.
And if he can cope with like Wes running in circles around him, he can cope with a baby. He'll be fine.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, they are brainwashed. Like Sina said, it's that cult mentality. Like, you know, Cheshire is the right-hand woman, and there's that, you see the power struggle with her and Sweets. Sweets wants to be that number one. She craves it. That's why she did the deed with Steve. But like, I don't know. Like, it's weird.
I'm just questioning Sweet a lot right now. Like the whole, I'd rather be in a room with David Earl Warden than Nate Brody. Now, like agreeing with Cheshire, thinking that it's okay to put children down at the age of like up to 3.
Yeah.
Like just her mentality, I'm questioning it a lot.
And like, we all know what Steve's opinion would be on it. He would be agreeing with it 100%. But I honestly feel like
Yeah.
if Steve and Sweet's relationship is as good as they make it appear, there should be no reason why she, as a mother, cannot say, no, that's fucked up. In my opinion, that's fucked up. Like, how is that hard to say that?
You've been on the phone with me with Carl, and Carl said something that's like not politically correct or something, and I'm like, babe, and he's like, well, it's true, and I'm like, well, it might be true, but you're not supposed to like say it, or you've heard him. Do you know what I mean? But that's
Yeah.
just like you should be able to say to your partner, like, enough, babe, stop.
Yeah. That's like Tom. Tom says some stuff in the background if he's home and I'm live, and I'm like, babe, no. Like, like just no.
Yeah, but we should be able to say like no to our partners. You were wrong. Like that's wrong.
Yeah, but like, I know from experience when I used to be like, I wasn't in their inner circle, but like when I was like friends, quote unquote, with them, as soon as I started disagreeing with certain things they didn't like me to disagree with, or if I wouldn't agree with them with shit they said, that's when the rift started. And then that's when I kicked him out of his little teen mom group, and he threw a big hissy and started calling me a liar.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's the same with me. Like I saw through him a little earlier, hence why I ended up ringing Nate Brody, speaking to Nate Brody about it. Just like, what, you know, why, like, what's his deal? Because he is, and like literally, Nate pretty much told me what was going to happen over these last few months, word for word.
Yeah, Nate's a very smart man. Like has he talked about this yet? I want to know what Nate's got to say about this. Like,
I'm not sure he will, to be honest.
As much as me and Unirock don't get along, when I was watching him talk about this last night, I was laughing so hard because like he said it right. It's, you just don't say stuff like that. Like, even if that's what she believes, there's some things you just don't say on your channel.
Yeah. Patty, his mother should have swallowed. Sorry, that was correct. That was wrong. Sorry.
His mom should have taken it another direction.
Yeah. Jesus. It's craziness.
Like, dang. Yeah, like some people, you just can't help them. Like, I thought it was bad enough when she said secondhand smoke is a myth. And then I'm like, no, there's no way.
Oh my God. That was so funny.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way she can top this stupidity. And then she talked about the dog allergy thing, and I was like, holy man, she topped it. Now this, I really want to say, I hope there's nothing stupider that can top this, but I feel like something else is going to come out of that mouth.
She is that stupid. But yet she's super happy to put other people down and other people's intelligence down. It's like, girlfriend, you need to look in the mirror. You need to go back to school. You need to get the frick away from Steve and like get a damn job and get your auntie's attic. Like, seriously.
Well, that's another thing.
Learn by Steve's mistakes. Don't freaking go for them.
Another thing is, as I see people that are like, wow, she's dumb. Like, is Canadian schooling that bad? No. I can tell you this much. Our schooling in Canada is amazing. It is like 1,000 times better than the public school system in America. It's very good. And like, it's almost embarrassing to admit that she's Canadian, because like every Canadian I know, I've never met a Canadian like her.
I
And
don't think
Kiki,
anyone's met anybody like her, to be fair.
right? Like, is she like a robot? Like, is she like not a real person? Like a drone?
I think
Like,
there's got to be mental health issues. There's got to be some kind of learning disabilities or mental retardation, or it's got to be something. I don't know what. Like, I'm sorry if I said anything that's not politically correct. I don't know the right wording. Sorry, but I don't know. There's something. She can't possibly think that secondhand smoke is not a real thing. She can't possibly think that putting a 3-year-old child down would be okay, and everybody be like, yeah, my kid's like a pain in the ass. Like, crap, I'll put him down, I'll get a new one.
right? Like, you can't exchange a child, because unfortunately, if you have, what I was told is, if you have one child with autism, one child with Down syndrome, it's your genes. It's something in your genes that cause that. So even if you give that child up to make another, there's no 100% guarantee that you will not make another with the same types of disabilities. Like,
and this child could come perfectly healthy, and how, like, then it could at 2 years of age, God forbid, like, I'm touching wood here, that, you know, they have some kind of accident or have meningitis or something that could change that.
yeah, like, you never know. Like, I went to school with a guy. He was completely atypical, like normal, whatever words you want to use. And he got in an accident with his friend driving drunk, and he got brain damage, and he's never been the same. His parents love him to death. He's still the same person. He's not the same person that we grew up with, but he's still the same body, the same name, the same man. And like,
it's a different normal. It's a new normal.
Yeah, you adapt. Like, and what Kiki just said, can you believe these are the people we thought were so intelligent 6 months ago? Lesson learned. Girl, lesson learned.
People are amazing. They are 100% good-hearted. Stina, my friend's little boy, he's just turned 4. Holy shitballs, honest to God, he's always happy. He is the most gorgeous little boy. He's the most happiest. Music comes on, he starts dancing. He's so smart. He can sign, he can talk, he can write. He's a breath of fresh air.
And like, don't forget the fact that like children with Down syndrome, when they're babies, I've never seen the most adorable children in my life.
Oh my God,
like,
I know. I keep saying, Sarah, can I steal him, please? Like, you got other kids, like, come on. And she's like, no, you're not allowed to steal my children, Joe. It's against the law. And I'm like, please.
Sorry, I was just typing in the chat. Troll said, I recently heard that Chesh plays dumb and is just trolling. I'm starting to think that's the case, and I hope that's true. God, I hope that's true. Like, when you hear that, it's like, are they trolling us? This can't be what no rational human being could possibly think in a million years.
I'm not convinced. Would you really, if you're trolling, would you really say something like that if you were trolling? Like, I don't know. I don't know, guys.
I got to go back to my trolling days, and I don't even think I would do that.
I don't think either. Like, we all have trolled, we all said stupid stuff, but something like that, I don't know whether that's trolling or whether that's just being a dumbass.
Like, because I know last night Unirock was going back and forth, like, is she trolling? She's got to be trolling. And it's like, oh, wait. Kiki said he played a video from a year ago, same opinions. I don't think she's trolling. See, you try and give these people the benefit of the doubt, and it's like, damn. Like,
that's why I think her views are so set. Like, she genuinely believes that she should be able to abort a 3-year-old. Like just put a 3-year-old down. You know, they're no good anymore. Like, okay, you freaking freak. That's called murder, you idiot.
It is. It's not called abortion. It's not called euthanasia. It's murdering a kid. Like, correct
Enjoy
me
your time in prison after murdering a kid. See how far you get there.
if so she's just dumb. Yes.
That's
That's
why they
right.
call it 62 IQ.
I could never figure out why they called her that. I was like, why are they calling her that? Why? Like, now I know.
I gotta be honest though, she makes me feel and look smart, so I kind of think I should be friends with her, because she would make me look like a fucking genius.
Maybe that's why Sweets hangs out with her.
Literally, like, imagine having her as a friend. She would make you look like you're the smartest bitch in the room.
Like, if Sweets was smart and she wanted to get Cheshire's spot, she would be using this right now.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Sweet is more disgusting than Chesh though, because Sweet has a kid and she thinks that's okay. So
yeah.
I'm going to put that out there. I think Sweet is more disgusting. Chesh is just a dumbass, but Sweet has a child and she thinks this way. Shame on you.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Another thing I didn't understand is they're using the term, oh, they're not viable. And I always thought and was taught that, like, especially with my miscarriages, my 2 early miscarriages, that's what they said. They said the baby wasn't viable and this is why you miscarried. And that means, you know, a chromosome was wrong, anything, and I naturally miscarried the baby.
Yeah.
But what I don't understand is how they're using that term with a living, breathing, heart beating child.
I'm not sure in America or Canada, but I could speak for the UK. After 24 weeks, under 24 weeks, if you give birth under 24 weeks, they will not help the baby. They will not tube it. They will not give it any sort of medical help. After 24 weeks, we class that as a viable baby, and they will tube the baby. They will try to, like, help the baby breathe, etc.
Yeah. Here in Canada, well, where I live, it's 21 weeks. Each is
different. I know we're 24 because Sarah had, Sarah from the group, she had Harper at 23.4, and Harper took her last breath after 1 hour.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But at least they got that hour,
Oh yeah, 100%.
And a lot of people, like, I wish I could find the clip right now. I'm gonna have to find it another time, but there was a woman who was telling her story once. It was all over YouTube at one point, and her daughter was born with no eyes, no nose. A couple other things were wrong, and they told her when they found all this out at her 20-week ultrasound not to have the baby, that the baby wouldn't survive past, like, I think half its brain was missing too or something. And they said, yeah, and they said it wasn't going to live past like an hour after birth or something. And this child, when she was telling the story, was 6 years old and like living. Like, yes, she had a lot of help. She wasn't in pain or anything, but she was alive.
Go onto Facebook, guys, and if you're on Facebook, and look for a prayers for baby Joseph. I followed this little boy since while she was pregnant. Actually, baby Joseph was born at under 1 pound. He is, like they said, he was going to have all these issues, and like, should they take him off the monitors and the oxygens? And she was like, no, if you're not, like, oh, he's going to be disabled. And she was like, if you're not going to wipe his ass, it's not your problem. I'm the one that's going to be looking after him, so it'd be my problem. No. And he is like a healthy, normal little boy now. And I hate using that word normal. Like, every time I do it, just know that I'm doing bunny ears, guys.
Yeah, he's in our community, we use the term neurotypical is like a child that's born with no issues or anything. We say neurotypical. Oh, I gotta go, guys.
Yeah.
My kids are home.
Okay. I'll speak
Thanks
to you later.
for
Bye,
letting
babe.
me know. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.